What's up, fans, folks, boys and girls all over the world? Welcome back to the channel. This is Buildastarrent Entertainment. I am your host, the Happy Hypocrite. This is episode 2 from the interview couch featuring Baby D, aka Baby Drea, aka Andrea. Last we left off, she was getting into being bullied and also abuse. So we're gonna go ahead and let the video play, let the interview play. I won't interject as much just because I feel what she's saying is heavy. So let's go ahead and get started.
Rather than hearing my dad yell at me all the time for like.
So even though you were bullied, school was still your escape.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how like I couldn't go anywhere because I couldn't really go anywhere anyway because my mom was so really strict about where I could go. And it was really hard because I had no one to talk to either. And then I remember one time when it got really worse with my dad, when he actually touched me and my mom, and he went to jail.
Meaning physical abuse?
Yeah. And he, after that, you would think my mom would want a divorce. Even the judge was surprised when she said that she preferred family counseling than divorce. And the court meeting was at like 5-6 a.m. I had to sleep at my mom's friend's apartment because I would be home alone, you know? So I'm just waiting and I'm praying to God like, oh, this is finally the day they can finally divorce. And like,
so you wanted them to get a divorce?
yeah, I didn't want to live with my dad anymore. He was emotionally like scarring me so much. I just wanted, when he left, he was gone for 6 months after he got arrested.
In jail? Or just?
No, my sister, the one that's closer to me, she bailed him out because he's already pretty old. And
after 6 months?
No, after, he was in there for like a week.
Okay.
Because when we told her what happened, like, she didn't even ask us if we were okay. She was so pissed at my mom that we even thought of putting him in jail.
Even though he hit both of you?
Like, she didn't even ask if we were okay. Once she bailed him out, he stayed with her for 6 months because legally the court decided that I couldn't see him for 6 months, even though my mom wanted family counseling and like blah blah blah. But I didn't see him for 6 months, and those 6 months were the first time I ever felt genuinely like have a clear mind. I didn't realize how stressed my mind felt until he left that same night. And it was like, I never felt that way before. It was such a weird feeling. So then I got so the fact that being at my mom's friend's house at 6 a.m., waiting for my mom to come back to tell me, yeah, like we're not staying with him anymore. So excited, so I could keep that clear head.
Right.
She comes home and looks me dead in the eyes, and I'm excited because I genuinely think she's gonna say like, and she just says, I was like, oh, so you're getting a divorce, right? And she was like, no. Like, she looks at me dead in the eye and she's like, no, I decided to do family counseling. And my heart like fell like beneath the ground, you know.
Did you say anything to her? Like, why are you doing it?
I was so shocked. And the fact that she even considered family counseling, what am I gonna say that's gonna change anything?
So how old are you at this time? Like,
I was in,
or what grade were you in?
I forgot. I was either in 6th or 7th grade. I think 6th.
So it was middle school, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And we went to family counseling. The counselor would we would have private sessions.
One-on-one?
Yeah. And I didn't even talk. All I said was just make sure that my parents get divorced, even though that's not his job. But I was so...
You wanted away from your father that bad.
Yeah, the counselor thought I was just keeping inside and one day it's gonna explode, whatever. But like, I'm telling him that it's not gonna work out. I don't want to have a repetitive thing that I've been living with my whole life. And I'm telling him, like, because my session's supposed to be 30 minutes, and he's trying to have me talk and say it's okay if you want to talk. And I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. I just want you to like make my mom at least realize something. And he's like, I can't do that, right? Like, they're paying me for the opposite. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it was like, we're trying, because what can I really do at this point? And every time, and it's the same thing that I predicted. Every time we would come out of family counseling, they would be holding hands, kissing up on each other, blah, blah, blah. And then
How did that make you feel, like, after what happened, he hit her, he hit you, and then everything's lovey-dovey?
I hated him because every single time he would come out of me, that would happen. And then not even a day later, blah, blah, just yelling, screaming, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, Mom, I told you. I literally, every single time it happened, I'd be like, I told you so. Why? Like, I don't want to go to family counseling. It's going to happen every time. And then we go back to counseling, lovey-dovey, then go back home, blah, blah, blah.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
No, I know initially you said he hit both you and his mom. Has that happened more than once, as far as the physical abuse, or was it just that one time?
It was just one time because he's scared that we're gonna call the cops again. Like, he knows we would.
Who called the cops? Was it you or your mom?
I remember.
The time it happened.
I remember I was sitting on a wheelchair, and he was coming after me, and then I saw my mom grab the phone. So I'm thinking, in my head, oh, like she's trying to call the cops. And then my dad sees her getting the phone, and then that's when he's like at her. So then I grab the phone, and then I dial, but then like he sees me, and then he gets me. But once you dial 111, like even if you don't say anything, they're still gonna come to your house,
Right.
So he literally unplugged the phone and everything, but like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, I forgot. Then the cops came, and yeah, like they took photos of my bruises and everything, and like they said,
So he hit you multiple times, bruises as in plural?
Yeah, like I lost a lot of hair too, and
Pulled out, or?
Yeah.
So were you fighting back?
Yeah, I was fighting back.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I was fighting back, but I'm tiny at this age, tinier than now, and he's like, I think he's like your height,
Right.
and that's a big difference. So especially my mom, she's 4'11".
Wow.
So if anything, when he was coming after her, I was in front of her, like as a shield.
This is even in middle school. You were taller than your mom, pretty much, or just as tall.
I was actually still a little shorter than her. I was
Right.
aiming at her eyesight, and but every time he would come up to her, every single time, like I was always a shield for her. Like I would stand right in front of her and just take everything. And yeah.
Different occasions, or that one time?
That was the only time that happened. Because after that, he got scared that we would call again.
Did it ever happen before that time?
No, but like it would almost.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did it ever happen to your mom and not you?
I don't know.
What do you think? Do you think it's ever happened to you? And I know you don't know for sure, but
I think so.
From the arguments you've heard, have you ever heard like any miscellaneous, something breaking, something getting knocked over, your mom yelling, suddenly she was quiet after you heard or anything?
Yeah.
Like, do you recall anything like that?
Yeah.
Looking back on it?
Yeah, like I would just hear the door bang close, and then I would be upstairs because I wouldn't want to go downstairs.
You really don't want to hear it, do you?
Like I would blast music,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
and all I hear was a door shut after a whole bunch of yelling, and I did not want to go.
So if you had to guess, would you say that he's beaten your mom more than once, or hit her more than once?
If any, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, cause he was yeah, he was a lot.
A lot of time was it verbal? Just a lot of verbal abuse?
It was literally all, like, with me it was always verbal, like, you know, like the littlest shit he would yell at, like, obviously at some point it's gonna make me feel like shit, you know? Like, I would be thinking, obviously I'm doing something wrong, and I would always try to be the best kid I always could for him, so he would stop yelling at me. Cause I thought, oh, like, maybe he sees something I don't, maybe I am doing something wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I would, like, watch every move when I would be near him and stuff, and I'd somehow still get, like, yelled at for that. And it would affect me a lot, because at some point, you know, when that happens a lot from your own parent, you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm really not a smart person. Maybe I really am dumb, as my own dad says I am.
He called you dumb before?
Like, he would just say, you know, he would just say anything. He would just
like what?
He would
Anything
just,
like what?
He would just tell me to go to hell, that I'm a dumbass, you know, just stuff that affects, you know, a child and makes them wonder, like, oh, like,
Yeah.
like, I was thinking I am, because why is he so mad all the time, you know? Like, obviously I must be a dumbass if he's so mad about it, you know? And so
Pause. So this will be my first pause. Like I said, I really didn't want to intervene and interject because of what she was saying, but I'm gonna go backwards here. She ended with, you know, the verbal abuse. So this is a father telling his daughter to go to hell, you're a dumbass. And like she said, she started to believe it. You know, no matter what she did, she tried to be the best daughter she could be. She tried to always do the right thing. You guys don't know this, but she was in private school from pretty much elementary and middle school. And she just always tried to do the right thing, but for some reason, and it wasn't her fault, it would backfire. Now, I will say this, she's a smart girl because I've spoken with her. The way we met, she came into the situation how she should, being a young woman meeting a gentleman for the first time. She had her guard up. She was cautious. When we met, she brought a gentleman with her, unbeknownst to me, and that was her boyfriend, and we all met at once. So she's not dumb. She's not stupid. She has common sense. She's intelligent, and unfortunately, the events that took place in the past, you know, left her scarred mentally. Emotionally. Let's say emotionally. Because mentally, I think she's okay. Now, she may be emotionally scarred, but mentally she's okay. Once again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just going about speaking what I feel. Physical abuse, we brought that up before. Come on, guys, you know what I'm saying? Some sense of discipline. There's no need to be hitting on your wife and your daughter and then going to jail, not being able to see your daughter or son, whatever the case may be, your child, for 6 months. But I will say this, couples who deal in verbal and physical abuse towards each other, As she said, she was a shield for her mother. She tried to protect her mother from her father. She had her hair pulled out. She had bruises. She was beat on by her father. And I learned this when I was in high school. Never get in between a domestic physical pretty much a domestic abuse situation between a couple, because the person who's getting abused will always choose the person who is abusing them over logic. It is what it is. And this goes back, and I saw this in high school. One of my best friends, let's just call him Mad Dog, we played football together, and there was a young lady in the parking lot while we were waiting for the activity bus, and her boyfriend was being abusive. And Mad Dog got up, went over there, said, "Hey, don't hit her." They pretty much almost got into a scuffle, but after all that, she went back with the young man. So the person being abused will always make their mind up, and usually, now this is just my opinion, but usually, especially if you're just an outsider, they're going to choose that person who is abusing them over logic. They're definitely going to choose them over you, because who are you? They're in a relationship with this person. They feel they love them. But that's the way that goes. Now, I will say this. She's also a fighter. You know, she stated that she was fighting back. She was a shield for her mother. Her mother is only 4'11", as she stated. And this is happening while she was in middle school. So you have to understand, she's taking on not only a man, not only an adult man, but also her father that's been abusing her for as far back as she can remember. So she's a fighter. But then she was tired of the abuse. So once he came back, even though she didn't want him back in the home, once he came back, she stated him and her mother would still, constantly get into altercations, whether verbally or physically. And she got tired of it. You know, her mom pretty much let her down because her mom took her father back. She finally had a peace of mind that she said she never had before, and she was content in the situation that she was in without her father. But when he came back and the abuse continued to happen, I'm speaking of verbally here because she doesn't know for sure pertaining to the physical nature, but I'm pretty sure it happened. If I had to guess, I would say yes, he was physical with her again after that. She started just going to her room, closing the door, blasting her music through her headphones or through her stereo because she didn't want any part of it. I tried to protect you. We had the opportunity to get out the situation. That's what she's thinking. You took him back, but I'm not going to be a pawn in this game that you guys call love. So I'll go to my room to avoid the abuse. I'll turn on my stereo, blast my music, and what happens, but I'm not going to make myself a part of it and put myself at risk.